As a kid, I never felt myself fitting with the norm. I always kept to myself, and I always did things my way. I never went with the flow, and I never fit in with any other cliques at my old school. So, when it came time to choose what I would do for my next step in basketball, well, I just followed my heart. That's what I always did. And why change what works? Why change what got me here? Why change what will always be my most outstanding morale? Never follow anyone else's goals. I didn't want to follow everyone, all the top name prospects, and go to whatever big school that would get me closer to a title. And I didn't want to go overseas because that's not my style. I never wanted to go overseas. I never really thought about it. And even though that phone call was trying to entice me to come, I just couldn't do it. What I wanted to do was something no one has ever done before. Take on a challenge that in some people's eyes may be insane, but for me, was right up my alley. And no matter what, I knew I was ready for it. But best be known, when I made my decision, the college world shifted, social media blew up, and next thing I knew, I became the talk of the town. I wanted to set a tone, a culture. I wanted to go to a school and create a whole new legacy. So when it came time for me to choose, that's what I did. I chose North Dakota State University, the Bisons, a small school in the north that is known more for their football than basketball. But when that coach came to me, he showed me that he was passionate about what he did. He wanted to win. He wanted to bring the program up to greater heights, to rival, maybe even beat the legacy the football team made. And that just screamed to me. I wanted to be that guy that led a team, that changed a culture, that put a team that was originally unknown on the surface. When I first made my decision, the news shook the sports world. Everyone had a take, and everyone felt like they had something to say to me about it. Now, social media blew up, but I wasn't worried about that. I was worried about meeting my new team and getting us ready for the season, because our road wasn't going to be easy. And even though I know people had their comments and their hate and their trolls and them saying I was running from the competition, I knew what I wanted to do. And I knew these group of guys that I was going to meet and play a whole season with, they were my new brothers. They were my new teammates. We were ready to shock the world. First week together, and I could tell it was going to be a work in progress. The grit and the heart was there, but the overall talent wasn't, which was what I expected when I first came here. This was a small school, so the top talent wasn't really looking there. That's why when I chose it, the whole world blew up. What I also realized, though, was that the college game was very different from high school. I couldn't just power my way to the basket and get the easy buckets and the foul calls. And my lack of shot was even more glaring here than it was back then. I knew for scouts, this was my biggest weakness, and I knew I needed to work on it in order to be better. Because not only did this team need work, I needed to work on my game as well. Because I was now the de facto leader of this team, and this team was only going to go as far as I could carry them. And with the start of the season fastly approaching, we were running out of time to get it together. Because our start of the season wasn't going to be easy either. We opened up the season hosting the Duke Blue Devils, a perennial blue blood that had all the talent in the world to win a championship year in and year out. It wasn't going to be easy, but I'm always ready for the challenge. So Duke, bring your A game, because you know I'm bringing mine. And if you don't, we're going to shock the world and put everyone and every team on notice.